Alright, hello. So I got the inspo for this originally on my Pinterest board. It shows a giant ice cream cone planter that you can get at Urban Outfitters, but I know a lot of people online actually end up 3D printing these. That is a large 3D print. I do not have time for that, I say ironically as I'm doing all of this, but I wanted to see if I could make it for possibly less and for stuff I already have or very easily accessible stuff. Like getting started with this laundry basket that I got from the dollar store. My first step was putting paper mache over top so I could see kind of like the shape that I was dealing with better. Mostly glue, a little bit of water, and a lot of newspaper. I'm not doing this the regular way. I'm more doing it in the placing glue on the outside of the basket way and then placing big pieces of newspaper over top of that. And then glue and then a little bit of water to make that piece stick to the basket. Repeating that process over and over and over again until the entire outside is covered with multiple layers. It was actually at this point that I made my first mistake. Already? I know, right? By this point, I started with a marker and a needle, kind of, and thread to make a straight line, mark it down, and then what I should have done instead is shorten the basket, like cut it down to a more manageable and reasonable height, which I will do later, but it would have been a lot easier to do this step or even earlier on in the process. Anyways, I digress. I did all my lines going one way by pressing the pin into the starting point and then the other pin into the ending point and allowing my thread, or in this case shoelace, to make the straight line at the angle that I needed it to be, and then using the marker along that line many times. There's no math involved with this, although I'm sure you could get it a lot better looking than I did if you did some mathing. Thank God though, because this was just basically done on vibes and me looking to make sure they were approximately the same length apart. Math is not my strong suit. It makes my brain real tired. And if they weren't the same length apart, I would simply redo the line, because this would be painted anyways. I then went in with more glue, placed it along the line, and then put the shoelace down. I did end up switching to a thicker thread for this, simply because I ran out of the shoelace. These are going to make the lines really come to life. I kept the pins in until some of them were dry enough to stay on there on their own. Most of them weren't. If others decided they weren't going to stay there at all, like most of them did, for whatever reason, which were a big number of them, as I stated, I would go back in with some hot glue, and that would actually make them stay in their damn lane. Finally, now that the Chris was done, it was time for the cross. Just the same type of process, just going the opposite way and over top. Then came the final installment of quote-unquote paper mache, but this time around it was tissue paper instead of newspaper because it got into the crevices a little bit easier. Basically just to properly flow over the shoelace and the yarn. I placed the glue down and then placed the tissue paper down using my finger to go around the contours of the lines. It was at this point where I realized that this was bigger than I had wanted it to be, so I cut a big portion off of it, as you see here. Which also means I have to add a custom portion on, a few custom portions. I used a bristle board for this and a tape measure to plan out the size I needed to be, as I was only going to be using scraps that I had already. I don't know the anatomy of the ice cream cone, but the first portion coming out of the actual cone, that's kind of like protruding a couple inches, and I also cut triangles into that every inch or two to allow for me to fold it out. Think of like if you're doing a sewing project, these would be the darts. Glued that into place. And then on each of the sections that are now out, I used hot glue once again to add bristle board going in the opposite way. Instead of straight out, it's going straight up. I believe this was about 5 inches or so. Again, these pieces are all scraps, so I'm cutting them mostly down to size, length, and height, and then gluing them to the base that I put down, as well as onto the ends of the last one that I placed down. I hope that makes sense. At those connected sections, I'm also using clamps to be sure that they stay put together. You may notice that half of the walls are taller than the other half. For the taller one, I cut downwards to create a second set of darts and then pulled them out a little bit. Not enough to actually break them, just enough to give them an angle. Then I added one more round of the bristle board to the ends of the sides that were shorter to give the same effect. Finally, it was time to add the paper mache to the entire piece. When I had finished the outside, I did carry it onto the inside. It was at this point where I made what I would consider my second mistake, and that is that I wish I'd added something like, let's say, plaster onto this to make it a little bit more stable and sturdy. I thought the resin, as you may have guessed that I would add, would help more than it did. If you are doing something like this, I would definitely recommend adding either plaster strips like you'd have on a cast, or plaster, which I think nowadays you can actually get from Dollarama or the Dollar Tree. Now that everything was as dry as it could be, though, I went in with white acrylic paint to prime the entire thing. I had a little rock out dance party along the way as well. Then I preemptively put together my yellow shade to make sure I had enough yellows to make it actually happen. Then just went to town. I did about 2 or 3 layers of this yellow as to cover the entire thing up to the opacity that I wanted it to be. Then did a few touch-ups, mostly around the rim area. Then followed those steps to the inside as well. Then, as stated before, I mixed up my resin and did a layer of that on the outside and eventually onto the inside as well. Then the second to last step being using a spray paint in relatively the same tone of yellow, although no one's really going to notice this part. To do the bottom, spray paint actually sticks fairly well to plastic if you get the right one. And then the last step you ask, because, well, it looks already done. Well, this is a faux planter, so obviously adding in a plant. That is it for today's video. I do hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next one. Bye, guys.